Hello. Today I want to show you how to make cob. Hopefully you've already read about it, so I won't describe exactly what it is, but I've got most of my materials here. Got some clay soil. It's probably what you would dig up if you were digging up your yard in the valley. And I got some sand that I dug out of a stream bottom, and I filtered the rocks out. You don't necessarily need sand, but if you have it, that's great. Got my dried grass. I have something to break up my dry clay chunks with. If your clay isn't dry, you might not need this, or you could use a rock if you have a rock. I have scissors to cut my grass chunks up into small pieces. I have a little bit of water. I've got some fabric. You can use tarp or plastic, or if you don't have this, you can even just work right on a rock, but it does come in handy. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my clay, my dried clay soil. It's really hard. I'm going to break it up, maybe like one handful might be good. It sort of depends on what you're building. If you're building something really big, you might have a big tarp and put a whole ton of it on. If you're building something small, you don't need a ton. I'm going to try and break up all the big chunks as well as I can first. If you're making a whole bunch, you wouldn't necessarily need to do this, because what you're going to end up doing is walking on it once it's kind of wet, and that'll do this same thing I'm doing now. But because I'm not going to step in this tiny amount, I'm going to just break up the clay chunks first with a hammer. Okay. They don't have to be like totally powder. I just don't want any really big chunks. Maybe I'll speed some of these parts up. Alright, there's my clay busted up. Now, I'm going to kind of set it to one side here. And I'm going to add, ideally, if you have it, about twice as much sand as clay. Okay. Yeah. If you have too much sand, it's going to be gritty, won't stick together. If you don't have any sand, it's ultimately going to crack some. It'll still probably hold together. It just won't be quite as strong. Okay, and now I'm going to mix it up. And if you have this all on a tarp or a sheet, you can kind of do this sort of thing. And that's why these are used. And this is a really common way, even when you're building like a huge batch for like a house, that people do it, because you can lift a really heavy thing with a little bit of force, and it doesn't get too tiring. Like if you're standing up, you could be pulling on a big tarp. It wouldn't hurt your back too much, like using a shovel would. And it flips it over real nicely. Gets everything real intimately mixed. You want all those sand grains to be coated in clay. You don't want any lumps of clay by themselves, because either way, those would create weak spots in your structure. It's looking pretty good mixed. It doesn't have to be completely mixed at this point, because we're going to keep mixing it after we add some straw and some water. That's a rock. No, it's a piece of clay. See? Clay feels like rocks. It's so hard. Alright. That's looking good. I'm going to add a little bit of water. Now, you don't want to add too much water, because if you start adding too much water, you're going to have to add more of your dry materials, and you wind up with this huge mass, more than you wanted. So add a little bit at a time. Mix it up. See what it feels like. Get your hands in there at some point. This is the point where if you're making a whole bunch, you might start stepping on it. Let's start adding water. And you would walk on it on top of a tarp, and then you'd still be able to give it a little flip as well. Yeah, a little bit more water. Not too much. Once it starts to stick to itself, you're getting a good amount of water. If you add too much, it just gets mushy and it takes forever to dry out. So don't add too much water. Okay. At about this point, you can start adding your straw, if you have it, or in my case, grass, my cheap straw substitute. And now you gotta cut your grass up, probably, depending on what you're making. You want the length of your grass pieces to be about as long as the width of the walls you're trying to make. So if you're just trying to make a little model thing with walls that are only that thick, you should cut your grass to like an inch, like I'm doing. If you're trying to make a giant house with 16-inch walls, cob walls are often really thick for strength and heat storage. You would leave your straw its full length, maybe 1.5 feet long or something like that. You might cut it up a little, or sometimes you cut some of it and not all of it, so that you got some that go all the way through the wall and some pieces that hold smaller parts together. Kind of experiment with it, see what feels the strongest. I'm going to cut mine pretty small. Okay. Mix that in. Now, how do you know if you got enough grass or straw? Well, it's hard to tell. If you put too much, it's going to start to feel dry and just really pokey. If you don't have enough, I'll show you in a second. It takes a little while, especially if your clay soil is as dry as mine is. It takes a while for the clay to really get wet and coat everything. It makes it really sticky. So you gotta keep mixing. Soil, which is pretty unusual in this area, you might not be able to find enough clay, which would be a trick. I guess you could come down to somewhere in the valley, or you could, what you could do, you could, I guess try and get someone else's dirt, or if you had to, you could buy clay. Well, that seems awfully silly because there's so much on the ground. But you would want to buy like a red terracotta kind of clay, not like a modeling clay with oils and gunk in it. It shouldn't be necessary to buy clay. Alright, so this is starting to get hard. It's still falling apart a little, so I'm going to add a little more clay, actually. Heavy, it's gritty. It's hard to compact, like you can't hardly push into it that much. It's really strong feeling. Now I'll show you. You can tell if you've got enough plant fibers in it, when you pull it apart, you should see a ton ton of fibers sticking in the direction that you pulled. And you should be able to pull it in any direction. Have the same kind of thing going on. Lots of fibers. And those fibers, they add this extra kind of strength. So the sand and the clay adds, they kind of turn the whole thing into one hard block. But if you start to get cracks at all from movement or drying, it's really those fibers that are going to hold everything strongly together, even if it wants to contract and separate a little bit because of some crack. They're almost like the rebar, the steel that they put in concrete together. So this is feeling pretty good. And as it sets, that clay is going to continue to absorb moisture, so it's going to feel like it dries out. You can add a little more water if you need to. But that is cob, and it's also a cob. So cob is a funny word. It's the name of the material, but it's also the name of a chunk of the material. I think it comes from like a certain kind of loaf of bread or something in England. I'm not really sure. I couldn't tell you exactly. It's in one of those books if you read them. Yeah, that's a cob. That's your building material. And now, if you want to just start building with this right away, you can take pieces of it and start forming walls and shapes. The trick is you don't want to let it dry out too much. So you could put it in a plastic bag if you made it one day and you're not ready to build it until another day. It'll keep for a while. Eventually, if it stays too wet for too long, that grass is going to start to rot. I'm not sure how long that'll take. I would guess you'd have at least a week before you have any problems, but I wouldn't make it too far in advance. It's only going to be better fresher, I think.